Hi all, Marty here with Warehouse and Operations as a Career, and it is hot here in Texas. And I'm hearing it's hot everywhere. Let's all remember to drink plenty of water now. Not sodas or energy drinks, but plenty of water. You know, doing what we do, we have to stay hydrated. Speaking about what we do, let's talk some ops real quick. I took a phone call yesterday from a young woman wanting to get quote-unquote, her forklift license. I asked what type of forklift she was operating and what type of product that she was presently working with, and she stated, "I'm not working right now, and I have never driven one. I just see that forklift pays more money, so I want a license." And you know, I'm hearing the same thing from others seeking employment right now. I explained that it's not quite that easy. Upon hearing, it's not only a class that you have to take, but experience is what you'll need to secure those wages. Well, she was no longer interested. I shared that I had the perfect placement in mind for her. She could apply and probably start out with this company in the sanitation department. Just let the management know that she wanted to be a lift operator and that they would work with her on it. I told her I bet that she could be an equipment operator in less than 6 or maybe 8 months. Her reply was no, that takes too long. And like I said, I'm hearing that more and more often. I haven't found a shortcut to a better wage yet. I think a 30% increase in wages in under 6 months is a pretty good opportunity. But you know, I do understand times are tough, and we've all been through a lot in the last 16 or so months. I feel we have to get back to normal though, and normal means working, and working our way up in a new industry if we have to. And you know what? Within our industry, it's possible right now. If a person is coming from the retail environment, or fast food, or maybe the service industry, it is possible to get into warehousing today and start work tomorrow. We just have to tell the many recruiters and hiring agents out there that are looking for help that we are who they need in their organization. If you need help with that, send an email to host@warehouseandoperationsasacareer.com, and I'll send you a short, free webinar titled "Seeking Work is Hard Work." It'll help you in your search. Okay, I shared a bit more on that topic than I had intended, but I think it's worth it. It's worth the time. So today, let's talk about order selecting. I like order selecting. And certain kinds of order selecting can pay us very, very well. I wanted to mention what I call order picking first. A little different than what I recognize as order selecting. I once worked for an American meter company. Their parts department was an array of small bins, and we carried probably like 2,000 or so different little springs, valves, O-rings, little rods and switches with covers, facings, locks, and kind of a lot of gas piping parts. I was an order picker. Now, it paid pretty well. I was responsible for selecting the proper parts. These orders and kits would be going out in the field to fix broken meters, so they had to be correct. As we've learned here at WAOC, more responsibility will equal more money. So I would walk these 3 aisles with my order slips, pick the parts as the invoice or pick sheet stated, bag them, place the invoice or pick sheets in the plastic bag, and then into my tote bin that I carried around. Now, when I had picked all my orders that I had in hand, I would take my tote bin over to the roller belt, give it a little shove, and off it'd roll to the packing and shipping departments. I'd then grab another stack of orders in a tote bin, and it'd all start all over again. I loved that job, and I learned a lot. By the way, after working there for about 4 months, I was introduced to a counterbalance forklift, was trained on it, and promoted to being a lift driver in about 3 more months. Anyway, so an order picker typically will not have a high productivity position, but one that will have a lot of responsibility for accuracy. Another example is cell phones. There are a lot of parts in a cell phone. Parts may be gathered or picked by an order picker. Once all the different components are picked, they will be sent over to the various assembly departments to assemble our cell phones. Another example could be the auto parts worlds. An order picker may be pulling items to go out to mechanics to fix engines. They must be correct. None of these examples represent a laid-back environment, though. I do not mean to say that they are easy jobs, by no means. But they can be lower volume positions. Accuracy over quantity. So what does an order selector do? Well, pretty much the same thing that we just spoke about, only in a much more productivity-driven environment. These environments are built for moving high volumes of cube and cases to many different customers or accounts in a predetermined time frame. When we're picking orders, be them meter parts, phone parts, or assembly, etc., the end user may be miles away with no deadline as to when the item may be purchased or used. As an order selector in a large distribution center, productivity can mean everything. We could be a part of a team selecting 100,000 cases for 2,000 different customers who ordered their products by, let's say, 5 p.m. today and want them out for delivery tomorrow. These facilities will incorporate a strong WMS or warehouse management system that can talk to their selection systems, which will be communicating with the transportation routing systems to produce batches of orders for us order selectors to download to our text-to-speech headsets or our wrist-mounted selection devices that will tell us what slots to go to next. We will then select the item, scan it for accuracy, and to deduct it from inventory and document that it has been filled per the order. Then we'll place it onto one of our pallets, by zone or in the proper place on the pallet so the delivery driver can locate it by stop. We'll be using either a double or triple electric rider jack probably, maybe an end control or center drive unit. The difference being that the center drive will operate more like a personnel carrier. We'll stand in a compartment behind a drive arm, and with the end control, we will be standing on the front platform with the control arm out in front of us. I'll add a couple of links in today's show notes to show the different types. A few examples of where these types of operations may be used would be in the wholesale restaurant and industrial broadline food service distribution centers, or in the pharmaceutical distribution fields. And then we have the produce distributors and specialty distribution centers like convenience store distributors and those distribution centers delivering to schools and nursing homes each day. These types of distribution centers can have, depending on their size of course, thousands of deliveries a day to make and a 12-hour shift to get everything selected. In my experience, most order picker positions are paid an hourly rate and sometimes can have an incentive component to them. An order selector position, more often than not, may be a paid by the piece component built into a base figure. Maybe a case per hour component or an activity-based pay program even. Whereas an order picker may be placing products on a conveyor belt, as an order selector will probably be handling or fingerprinting every case and placing them on a pallet. Order pickers usually work within a department, an area within their facility. An order selector will usually be traveling every aisle within their warehouse, at least in the area that they're assigned to. I think both of these positions are great jobs, but I always tell people to have an exit strategy. The pay is great, and we'll be good at the job, but it is a tough one, and it's hard on our bodies. Sometimes we can get hypnotized by the income. We're doing an excellent job for our supervisor, so he or she is not going to just offer us another position. They need us in the position that they have us in. All I'm saying is to have a plan and let your management team know that you're interested in being a receiver, a forklift operator, maybe a job in inventory control, just a way out eventually. So, picker versus selection? I don't have a favorite. They both can lead to great careers. If you love either, Well, you're happier than 30% of today's workforce. I guess our time is up for the day. I hope I said something that you can relate to and that you'll come back and join us again next week here at Warehouse and Operations as a Career. Be happy, be growing, and be safe all day, every day.